Hey there. So today we have another Darwin's Rants, and this is relevant to F&D. So I guess we're going back to cursing, doing all that good stuff. I had to pick up a six pack on the way home. It's been a long week. I think I did the. I was only planning to be at work for like 5-6 hours. I was there for like 9. Yeah, 9. It's been a long week. Yeah, I did the math. Definitely clocked in work probably 50 hours and then out the door for over 60. I think I've been out the door for like 60, 65 hours, something crazy like that. But I've been busting my butt. So exhausted. And today's my quote unquote Friday, even though I only have one day off and then back to it. But I will say I'm going to adjust my schedule because like this is the last training week and I just can't do those doubles. Like I need to really concentrate, do really well in the training, get past, and hopefully next week I actually get on the schedule with a new job. So anyway, today was my quote unquote Friday, last shift of the week, Sunday, and how's that tasting? Oh, pretty good. About two. I mean, I don't know. I don't think I have to review it for you guys. It's about right under 2 months old. Yeah, right under 2 months. So not bad. Go to highlight. Yeah, it's tasting good. Not amazing though. Yeah, I feel a beer hasn't been as impressively citrusy as I usually love it. But so I was the third one in today. We opened up at 11. You have an opener. You have someone to come at 11. I come at 11:30. I'm like, brunch just in general has been not super crazy at F&D. It's picked up a little bit. Last week was super crazy because we had this event. Yeah, it was like basically they usually have a farmer's market, and then there's like a block away. And there's this extra fall festival. It was like a whole day affair. And I couldn't find parking for I was like late to work for like 20 minutes. And I was like, what is going on? I ended up paying $25 to work, which, obviously I made some money. So but paying $25 just to like show up to work is pretty rough. I had to park in the parking lot right behind the building right behind the restaurant because there's no parking. So we're busy. So this week I'm like, I also drove into work. It was like rainy. I was like, bro, this is gonna be easy. I brought lunch because I'm so tired these days. Like I don't even wake up to have breakfast. I literally wake up, take a shower, go to work. So I brought lunch. I was like, all right, I'm gonna eat when I get to work. Show up, the restaurant was busy. I'm like, what the hell's going on? Hey, Darwin, there's a 10 top for you. Whew, clock in, let's go. And we just get hit, bang, 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 table, hit table. This went straight for about 4 hours. I looked at the thingy because we have a hostess and Darwin got this table. How many people? Another girl got this table. How many numbers? So it's 3 of us. 3 of us on the floor. A bartender, 2 managers. Sorry, 2 managers, bartender, a hostess and a food runner, and then obviously the kitchen. We just kept getting hit. I did 56 covers. I looked at the thingy. The girls did not do as many because obviously I was able to turn the tables, be available to take more tables. I don't think I 2x'd them, but I definitely It was a difference. Actually, I probably should ask my manager how many covers I did compared to them. Oh, so you're asking why? Well, it's because one of the big ones is I have toast. Toast, if you guys don't know, the handheld thingy, pick it up, boop, 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 take your order, fires to the kitchen. You want to close out? All right, here's your check. Tap your card, boom, on to the next one. The girls were using the old-fashioned way. Let me take your order. All right, I got your order. Terminal. All right, now your food's in. Okay, you want to close out? All right, let me grab a check. I'll be right back. Wait, here's your thing. Okay, and you're going to grab it. And then, you want 3 checks? Okay, cool. 1 card. Here. And then you got to go back and forth. This is a casual Mexican restaurant. There's no reason we have to do the pen, the paper, the fine dining. It's just, bro, you got this thing. Punch in the order, walk away. Boom. The food runner on your food. You want to close out? Boom. Ta, 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 ta. So it's busy night. And then, so obviously just explain, so the managers are helping the staff out, helping on food. So basically, as a server, you have to take your orders, run your drinks, because the bartender will make your drinks, help on other food, and obviously bus your tables. Well, guess what? Some restaurants have a busser. We don't have a busser there. The hostess, thankfully, was seating tables, but also busing right behind that. So she would seat a table, bus a bunch of tables, seat another table, and there's a new girl that they borrowed from one of the other locations. F&D has 6 or 7 local locations in Orlando. I'm pretty proud of my job, or proud of how I do my job. I didn't have time to, bro. Every time a table closed out and I'm ready to bus a table, Darwin got another table. in the middle of like taking an order. Darwin, get another table. So so like 2-3 hours there. I mean, obviously try to pre-bus. Like when people are ready to close out or they're finished with meal, you try to get rid of plates. So then by the time they leave, you got a couple water glasses, a couple plates they were like maybe nibbling at. Ideally, it's not too much. But then in the end, you still have to bust all that stuff, wipe down the table, everything. I didn't do any of that. This girl just followed behind the entire, the three servers, including myself, bust everything. So I tell the managers, I'm tipping this girl out. Obviously, I made great, I made great money, very good money for 4-ish hours. She deserves, like she actually doesn't. Oh, how this? So the tip out that out of the money I made, I make tips, and tip out is you give some of your tips to the bartender who made all your drinks. You give some money to the food runner who ran your food. You rang in the food. Well, the food has to get to the table. Well, someone's devoted to doing that. But this person bussing tables for me like nonstop, the entire restaurant. I was like, this new girl's great. So I tell the managers, I tell my other staff, I was like, the other two servers, like, I'm tipping this girl. She did a great job. I don't think they tipped her out, by the way, which is ridiculous. Like, if you ever work in this industry, like, come on. Like, if you make good money and somebody, really helps out to ensure that you made that money, give them a few dollars. Like, come on, what are we doing here, right? And I promise you, because what happened is, it's common sense. If she wasn't following around busting those tables, we wouldn't have open tables, and we wouldn't be able to do the business, right? It's just like, hey, we'd like a table. It's like, well, every fucking table's dirty. What are we gonna do about it? Or we're gonna wait, and then you don't get the business, right? We gotta get the fucking business in, right? So I was like, all right, here's a few bucks. So I was like, all right, I'll give you $15. I was hoping the other girls would give her some money. So like, ideally she would make like $50 on top of, her hourly or something like that. Well, I sort of fucked up. In the busyness of it all, you know what? It might have been this one situation where I had a couple. First off, this is like a compliment, so I hope it's not like homophobic or something. Honestly, the best chunk of people I've ever served up in my entire life are just gay guys. They're the best. Super nice. They're like, oh yeah, whatever. Oh yeah, I'm so sorry about that. They're like, oh yeah, whatever. Super nice. Great tippers. Just patient. Karens. Anybody can learn from gay men. I don't. Maybe it's an overgeneralization, but I love gay men. Quote me on that one. I love gay men. So these guys sat down. It's like, oh, we're just grabbing a drink and appetizer. So I'm running around the bar, and I noticed, like, okay, their drinks are not there. So that might have meant, like, another staff member or a manager dropped their drinks off. I run by their table. I'm like, bro, you still don't have drinks? They're like, no. I'm like, what the? And they had their appetizer ready. Appetizers take 2 seconds to make, right? I'm like, what the hell? I run back to the bar, and finally the drinks are there. And I'm like, bartender, have these been sitting here for, like, how long? And he's like, no, I just made them. And then I look at the ticket of when I put it in, because obviously he's a toast. Again, that's the other issue. Like, again, when I took an order, boom, the bartender got that ticket to make the drinks. The problem is if you write it down, all right, I took your order, but then you got to go all the way to the terminal, type it, that could be 5 minutes past. I literally, when you told me, when it came out of your mouth, it was fired to the bartender at that moment. That's the efficiency of 2025, especially with these handhelds, right? So he just made it because he was backed up. So the bar was busy. The restaurant was busy because normally, like on a busy night like that, or on a busy night like a Friday night, they would have double the amount of staff, 2 bartenders, 6 or 5 servers instead of 3. But it's just a brunch, so we don't know what to expect. And for some reason, EDC's in town. I could hear the music right now, so maybe it's EDC. I don't know. Got destroyed. I talked to my manager. I literally just walked by my manager like, these guys can get their drinks for 20 minutes. This is absolutely ridiculous. I need to comp something. So we took their appetizer off, and they drank their drinks, but. And I just woke up. I was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. It's like if I go somewhere, it's unacceptable to wait 20 minutes for 3 cocktails. Right? Like, that's way too long. For an entree, maybe that's normal. When it's busy, okay, you might wait 30 minutes-ish, but shouldn't be. But for a simple couple cocktails, 20 minutes? Fuck that. I would not I would never go to a place wait 20 minutes for a cocktail. So I'm so sorry. And they're like, yeah, whatever. They're just so nice about it. And I was like, I'm comping your appetizers, here are your drinks. Like the manager's like the owners like don't like comping liquor cost. I don't know, whatever. We comp their appetizer. So basically they paid like for like 2/3 or half of their drinks, like cost wise, right? Something like that. So they got a free appetizer. But they're so nice. So anyway, I'm dealing with this stuff, and then this one guy this family and stuff. He noticed. I think he might have noticed that happened. He was a little bit incoherent about it, but like he closed out. They spent like $100. He tipped $20 on top of that, 20%, right? Cool. He walks by in the restaurant. They're sitting outside. I'm running around. He walks by. Hey man, really appreciate what you're doing. I understand. I understand the work you do. So maybe he worked in the industry, maybe he's managed a restaurant before, and just like slips me one of these. You know one of those, right? This like move like, thanks, and I'm like, all right, cool. Put it in my pocket. I eventually turn around. He gave me a fucking $50 bill. I was like, what the fuck? So he spent $100, gave me 20 on like on his credit card, but just handed me a $50 bill. I don't know if it's because I was trying to help out the gay family right next to him. I don't. Oh, they had another issue with separating their tables because some of them are trying to do bottomless and whatever. We figured it out. It was all pretty good. Like I don't think I went above and beyond, but I just thought I was doing my job right. He handed me $50. I'm like, oh, what the fuck? So we go back a little bit to that story where I handed this the food runner $15. I must have just been fuddling with my cash and just like shoved some money into her hand. It was a 10 and not a 5, but a 50. Because I did all my cash. I'm like, I do not have a $50 bill on me. And I just recollected all the money that I dealt with. Because obviously some people pay in cash. That cash obviously, like the sales of the cash obviously go to the restaurant, right? I don't keep the cash if someone pays in cash, I don't keep that. I give it back to the restaurant, right? And I'm like, the fuck is all this? So I accidentally gave her $60 instead of 15. When I told the other servers and my manager, they're like, "Oh my god!" And I'm like, "So if it was out of my bottom line for the night, that would really ruin my night. Like that's a large chunk of the money I would have made." But that guy slipping me the $50, sort of just it's sort of that, it's just a karma passage, right? That guy didn't really need to hand me $50, and I didn't really need to hand her $50. But honestly, she probably deserved it because the other servers didn't tip her out, and this karma energy of like free money just sort of went from me to her. So it's a good mistake. It's a happy mistake. So I'm really happy about the world of karma right now. So hopefully good vibes this week, and I'm going to crush at my trading. Sorry, the rest of my trading this week. I hope she walks home pretty happy because like I just slipped her $60 out of nowhere, which probably with her hourly is probably like double what she made. Like, cause she only gets paid like probably minimum wage just a host, doesn't get a tip out. But she was busting tables like a motherfucker. And then at one point when I slowed down, I was like, this is enough. I'm tired of this. This fucking restaurant's destroyed. I do the double bus tub move. One bus tub takes all the trash. Food waste, napkins, everything. Plates, all in one. And then you get the trash one, you get the plates one, stack it, and just run to the dish pit and go, you got to get that restaurant clean because it's just fucking, it's not nice. Like, you don't want to sit at a restaurant. Literally, like, I felt bad. Like, literally tables would sit there and, like, every single table around them was just like a mess, just like empty, like half drinking waters, empty glasses, plates. It's not a good look. I don't like that. Like I appreciate, I try to, this is the guest experience, man. That's why I fucking work this industry. So I was like, fuck this. Bust tubs, bust all that shit, get this fucking shit into the dish pit. And so that was my fun story of the day. Again, I was like, where the fuck is my 50? And I was like recollecting the night, and I was like, shit, I gave her $60 instead of 15, but good karma. And then it turned out that I was supposed to leave at some point. There was supposed to be a party at 7 o'clock for 40 people. Bartender shows up. She looks wretched. She was sick or something. I don't know. She looked terrible. And it's like, she's got to go home. So like my manager comes and was like, hey, listen, can you like bartend for this party? I don't have any staff to do it. I actually was the only bartender basically available at that point. I was like, because I can obviously bartend and serve. I was like, all right, cool, I'll stay. The party never even showed up. But thankfully, I had a little bit of business behind the bar. Actually, the restaurant was actually dead. We had such a busy brunch, and then the night was dead. So I actually had to stay all the way till like almost 8:30. At that point, like I had a couple people. I was like, all right, I'm gonna stay an extra few minutes and just like close their checks out. So I did 9 hours. I was supposed to leave at like probably 5-6 o'clock. Stayed all the way to 8:30. Long ass fucking day. It's gonna be a long week. Not as long as obviously the last few weeks. Again, I'm probably not gonna do those doubles. I'm definitely not gonna do those doubles, especially when I have the training. I think my last trainings are Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and I'm just not gonna double those up. It's just gonna be one day doing that, not like show up to work at 10 a.m. then do the evening, then show up at too much. Anyway, thought this was a fun story. Cheers. Appreciate the people that help you out, especially when they directly affect the money you make. Please. And I also made sure to let people know, like, they're just quietly saying that the managers should know that I appreciate that work and I'm, passing on my goodwill and income onto her because she really helped facilitate the machinations of the restaurant and the money that I made and the restaurant made, right? Until next time, cheers later.